got James Bloomfield here, who's Oz Music Central musician. Thanks, James, for joining up with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, how long have you been performing for?
I've been performing on stage since I was 16.
Yep.
Started playing music when I was 8.
Moved with 8. So what made you first pick up the guitar?
Basically, my family is musically orientated. My mother was a big influence, and my brother also was a musician.
Yeah.
And of course, being in the family, I wanted to be a part of that, so I started to play music myself.
Okay. Do you play a range of instruments?
I do play a range of instruments. I play the piano and the guitar. They're my two main instruments, but also play a little bit of the drums, the bass, keyboards. I try to play a bit of everything, really.
So when you're performing on stage, do you just play the guitar?
Well, I like to play a bit of the piano as well, for the main reason that it breaks it up a bit and keeps the audience's mind with a fresh perspective.
Okay. Do you find the audiences really appreciate it when you get on a guitar? I mean, on a piano?
They do.
So it changes the whole, like the songs will become a little bit more slower and...
Yeah, well, of course, two different sounds. Sometimes when you hear a constant sound from one instrument, the mind can tend to get a bit lazy. So when you break it up, it just brings a fresh feel to it.
Like a whole new dynamic to the performance.
Definitely.
Excellent. What would be the biggest crowd you've played to?
The biggest crowd I played to would be 800 people. That was when I was a teenager playing for Talent Quest.
Yeah.
As you do when you're a teenager, you play for many.
Yeah, exactly.
800 people, and that was, I played Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Yeah.
From Poison. My knees turned to jelly because everyone got their lighters out, but nevertheless I still managed to carry it off, and it's great.
And everyone seems to love that song live.
They do.
Do you prefer the bigger crowds, or do you prefer playing to small, intimate audiences?
I prefer the smaller, intimate audiences. I know it may sound a bit vain, but it just means that all their attention's on me.
Do you often ask, do people request songs when you're playing in the smaller venues?
People do request songs. If I've got them in my repertoire, then yes, I can accommodate. But a lot of the time I have my set list, and I find it's easy just to run off that.
Yeah.
So that way you don't lose your place, and you can still manage to carry off your gig.
Exactly. No, that's good. So you write your own songs.
I do.
How do you go about writing a song?
Okay, a lot of the time I'd be having a jam with friends. I'd just be sitting at home playing the guitar. I'll find a tune that I like that I might just be playing around with, and then if I like it, I'll decide to put some words to that. But then on the other hand, sometimes I'll be writing poetry.
Yeah.
And I find that if I kind of get a lyric feel in that poetry, then I'll add music to it.
What's the longest amount of time it's taken you to write a song?
The longest amount of time would be 2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
So you started and then you just sort of pigeonholed it and come back?
Yeah, it's...
Is it normally just because you're not happy with it, or writer's block?
Yeah, it's a bit of writer's block. A lot of authors get it. It's basically a case of you can come up with a couple of verses and a chorus, and then you go to the second part of the song and you might get stuck. So rather than trying to force yourself and coming up with something that just end up in the bin, just put it aside, and then down the track, pick it up, have a play around with it, and when you feel your mojo coming back, you can finish it.
What's the shortest amount of time it's taken to write a song?
Shortest amount of time would be 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
20 minutes. Those ones...
You still play it live?
Still play them live.
Is it a good song?
Yeah. Those ones are good, but they don't come along that often.
Okay.
Now, all part of being able to write a song in 20 minutes, like I know for myself, a lot of the time I'm hearing the song in the back of my head while I'm writing it, so I don't actually have to think. I can just write it out, and then I'll pick up an instrument and play, and voila.
And then before you know it, you've got a song.
That's it.
Now, what would be your biggest inspiration in writing music, and what's the sort of musician that you look up to?
Influences, Well, as a child, I listened to a lot of Elvis Presley, Poison, Guns N' Roses, Led Zepp, Black Sabbath, all the golden oldies.
Yeah.
Love the Foo Fighters, U2.
Yeah.
There's a large range there, too many to mention, but yeah, mainly from the old rock style bands.
Yeah. Well, with U2, do you prefer the 80s U2, 90s, or what they're doing now?
Definitely 80s and 90s.
So between the Joshua Tree and the Uptown Baby, that sort of golden period.
That's the golden period for me.
That's
definitely.
the U2 I like as well.
Yeah, excellent.
Now here's the big question. If you could perform with anybody, past or present, who would it be?
It would be Foo Fighters on their Skin and Bone album.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that album, I just fell in love with it, and it just captured me.
And that's where you'd want to be.
That's where I'd want to be, definitely.
Awesome. Good choice. Very good choice. Now thank you for joining up, for coming in this today. And you're going to play a song for us now. What's the name of the song?
Name of the song is called Break Free.
Break Free. Excellent. Take it away.
When I'm lost in myself, I need nobody else except my lawyer for the judge and the court. When the shit is a fan, I'll be all that I am. I pray to the Lord above. They say I'm a menace to society, the lowest of the low, making fun of what I believe. Just why do they care? Why do they really know? Why do they really know? Too many times have I was young man died from a society that wants to know more. When you find a friend that truly gives a damn, take it for what it's worth. Embrace it while you can. Embrace it while you can. You gotta break free from the chains. Break free from the chains of society. Just break free from the chains. Break free and bring the soul back to life. You gotta break free from the chains. You gotta break free from the chains. You know. Lives have been broken, conforming to a society that's slipping away. You see the homeless still surviving, and they've got nothing to lose, cause it's already been taken away. It's already been taken away. You gotta break free from the chains. Break free from the chains of society. Just break free from the chains. Break free and bring the soul back to life. You gotta break free from the chains. You gotta break free from the chains. You know. You gotta break free from the chains. Break free from the chains of society. Just break free from the chains. Break free and bring the soul back to life. You gotta break free from the chains. You gotta break free from the chains.